What's poppin', y'all? We back with another episode of the Squid Games Aftermath podcast. I am your host, DeAndre, aka Player 288, and today I have with me a very special guest that the people have been asking for, clamoring for, needing, and that is the beautiful, illustrious, vibrant, blonde Amanda, Player 19. What's poppin'?
Woo! That was some entrance, that wasn't it? What an introduction.
Hey, look now, I gotta give
Hi,
the queen her intro. Yeah, I gotta give the queen her introduction now.
guys.
How you doing
Hello.
today?
How are you anyway? It's been so long.
Yeah, it's been a minute. It's like almost a year actually. Can't believe it, you know.
Mhm.
So, but you looking as beautiful as ever, shining all over.
Allowed to wear the lipstick now, you see. Allowed the fake eyelashes. It's all allowed. I've got real
Okay,
shampoo and conditioner.
okay, yeah. We look now. That's a blessing that we all got now. So we really appreciate that extra after seeing us all looking a little crazy on camera. So, well, cool. Well, we gonna jump right into it. Amanda, tell me, why did you decide to apply for Squid Games, the challenge?
Oh, I don't know if it's the same as everyone else, but genuinely for the challenge, like the money was not the first thing I seen. If anything, that was like something I realized a little bit later on when I was like, oh, I've got to say why I want the money and what I do with it. But yeah, I mean, we do all loads of Squid Games. It's huge. Like, let me have a go at that. Yeah, that was it.
Okay, yeah, she need the money, and she definitely wants up for a challenge. I like that. I like that. So you find out you get accepted onto the show, and you get all the stuff ready and pass all the physicals and whatnot. And it's the night before you leave home, which you don't really have to go that far. But when you're packing that night before, tell me what's going on through your head.
Oh, do you know what? Anticipation of like what is going to happen. Like I had to obviously take my passport with me as ID and things, and I was thinking, this is Squid Game. Like I could be jet off somewhere here, could be a little bit exotic, a bit interesting. Um, I wasn't taken further than London, but something was hoping it might.
Hmm.
But yeah, no, I was dead excited for it. I was looking forward to it.
How
Um,
far? Yeah, how
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 far was
far?
it for me?
How? Yeah.
Honestly, it was about 2 hours on a train.
Okay, not too bad. Not too bad. Not too bad. Nice
Yeah,
little,
if I was to drive, it'd have been about 3.5.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, you familiar with the areas then? Okay, so she's like, look, I know what's going on out here. I ain't got to get on the plane and whatnot, so it's chill. Uh, So when you get there and you get in the hotel, we quarantine for a couple days, and it's time to head to the first challenge, which is red light, green light. Tell me what's going on in your head when you're on the bus.
Honestly, I was like, I should have probably trained for this. I should have maybe put a bit more preparation. You know what it's like. You turn up, you've got all these athletes there, you've got people who are like, they're ready for the challenge, a physical challenge. You can hear it, everyone's pumping each other up, and I'm there thinking, I've done 2 spin classes in the gym. I cut out caffeine, and that's it. Like I should have done a
Oh,
bit more than that.
mm-hmm. Dang, girl. Well, you took in more classes since the show, right?
No, I've been too busy.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Life is
Well,
way too busy.
I feel you. I
I
feel you. I
probably should.
know. Hey, come on, you got it. I believe in you. You got it.
Yeah,
Just,
yeah.
just make.
I'm gonna sign back up to the gym.
All right, there we go. That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear. Okay, so she didn't prepare, and she going in there, not knowing what she really getting herself into. But when we walk in there and we get in the tents, and you can clearly see it's red light, green light. But when you first walk into the red light, green light arena, tell me what's going on through your head.
Wow, like I'm in the game now. I'm in the show, and honestly, all I'm thinking is, what stance am I going to do when I stop? Like we were all practicing in the line, waiting to go in, and it's like, how am I going to stand? What's the best thing to do? Look how far it is. Yeah.
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 Okay.
I was actually really like ready for this. I was like, come on, I can do this. Like my kids play this at home. Like this is
Mhm.
gonna be easy.
Oh, she said, okay. She was
How
ready for it.
naive was
Okay.
I?
Exactly. Exactly. Okay. Okay. So we getting ready to go. Amanda's confident. You take the practice round, and then it's time for the real thing. So tell me your strategy going into this.
Yeah, so I I don't know if you know, but I was a taekwondo athlete. Like I used to fight all around the world. So same stance is my thing. Like I've got a bit of stability, the core and that. I thought I'm gonna do my stance that I've trained for years and years, and that's what I'm gonna do. And as soon as we left, everyone started running forward. I was like, this is not happening. I can't even get past the person in front of me. Like, what am I going to do
Mhm.
here? All went. That was it.
Jeez, that's nuts. Well, yeah, I mean, so when we first start and they blow, they play the song and we stop, and then we're stopped for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. What's going on through your head?
I think they're taking a bit long now. I'm like, come on now. Like, I'm tired.
Yeah.
It was hard work, wasn't it? But all I was thinking was, I was thinking about my little boy, my youngest, and he obviously would love red light green light, playing it with his friends and things like that. All the kids play it,
Mhm.
and all I kept thinking was him like, come on mum, you can't go out in red light green light, come on, you've got to get through this. And how I would feel going home and being like, I got kicked out, like I never made it through. But it's not as easy as that, is it? It's genuinely not as easy as that. It's really hard, and it doesn't come down to the standard game, I suppose. It's really difficult. There's so much that came into play. It was people in front of me, like I couldn't get past them. And yeah, there's so much more than just stopping on time, isn't there? You know,
Yeah.
there's,
Yeah.
yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, it was insane. But yeah,
Hmm.
so the game's going, and you're creeping forward every song that comes on, every hour that passes, you're getting a little closer. And tell me, when you see the finish line in sight and it's within your grasp, tell me what's going on through your head.
I'm not going to make it. I was literally last, and I'm thinking, I've gone all this way and I'm not going to make it because of the time. That's genuinely what I was thinking. Because I chose to sit down, and on the last, little leg of it, shall we say, I was leaned against the wall, and I thought, this is it. The time is over. I'm just going to have to like run as fast as I can and hope I make it. And I did. Obviously, I got across the line, and Chad was there, and he was like, "Come here, girl," and like he picked me up, well, give me a big hug. And I was like, "I haven't done it. I haven't done it." And he was like, "No, it's still playing," and that was it. I was like, "No way!" Oh,
Okay.
what a moment!
Yeah, no, definitely. That was epic moment, the last round. I mean, a lot of people made it in the last round, a lot. So I
Yeah.
think every time I talk to someone, they were in the last round, they were in the last round, and they were in the last round. I was like, geez, all y'all was playing that whole
I know,
game?
I
Like,
bet a lot in the last round, and I was like, "No, I was in the last round," and they're like, "No, I was," and I'm like, "I was."
yeah, I'm shocked how many people were in the. I need to keep a tally of how many because you're literally like the 20th person I think I've talked to that said they were in the last round, and I'm shocked
Yeah.
that many people lasted that long. So, because I was in the third, so. But congratulations, player 19 is moving on in the game. She conquered the first game, no problem, no sweat off her back, and we getting up out of there. And then it's finally time to go into the dorms. So when you first step into the dorms, tell me what's going on in your head.
Oh, it's excitement. It was like fun running in that dorm, seeing it all like for real. That was amazing. Like, yeah, it was good because obviously you're starting to meet people from red light, green light, and you're like, this is going to be good experience. Actually, yeah, I'm loving it at this stage. Hmm.
And so when you get in there, you see all these people. Are you thinking about talking to everybody, forming a small group, and then who do you get close with?
Yeah, as soon as I went in, obviously there's so many people. People were already starting to make connections and the friendship groups, and I was just like, I'll just see where to fit in and how this goes. I met Anthony, which was player 39. He lives quite local to me, he lives about half an hour away. So that's how we got talking at first, because we were so close. And he moved into the bunk next to me. I met Danny. I think, yeah, she's from New York, living over in New York anyway at the moment. So it was great. She was in the bunk on the other side, and obviously B slept across the other side of the bunk, and I was just literally going with the flow, seeing where it fits, and just taking my time, I think.
Okay, she was just, chilling, got her little peoples, but she's still just trying to see the vibes out. Okay, I like it. I like it. And so when we eventually find out player 200 is eliminated, what are you thinking when this first thing happens?
No way. Like, I was like, this is cutthroat. This is hard. And also unexpected, isn't it? Because you don't expect that. But then in hindsight, it makes sense. I can see why he was chosen because he was such a big character. And you're like, wow, like, what is happening here? This is, yeah,
Yeah,
let's see how this
no, it was
goes.
insane. That's when it kind of, got a little real for most of us. But
Yeah.
fortunately, you had to make us exit, and we move on to the second game. And we walk into the white room for the first time, and you see these four lines. What are you thinking?
I'm going for number one. Always number one. I'm going straight there. Let's just see what happens. And I'll just take my face as it comes. That's what I was thinking
Okay.
when I seen those lines.
Okay, pretty simple game plan right there. Okay, not thinking too
Yeah.
hard on it. She's just going straight there. Number one, I'm going to be number one. And so we eventually find out that, the players have to pick the lines. And so the first line gets in there, boom, they can't make a decision, they're out. Second line gets in there, boom, they can't make a decision, they're out. Third line finally makes a decision, and it goes in the order circle, triangle, star, umbrella. You fortunately get the circle. So, it's everyone's, popping and locking and dropping in the
Yeah.
line one, and they, like they in the club and we kicking it. So when you get in there and you've got the circle, tell me how you feeling about the circle, getting in when you get started, and then your process through it.
Yeah, I'm buzzing and we've got the circle. I was hoping for the triangle because I heard that was easier than the circle. But I was happy with the circle. Goes in and everyone was talking about strategies. They were going to spit in the tin, they were going to lick it, and I was just like, I'm just going to scrape this and see how we get on.
Okay. So no
And
spitting.
I was more worried I would drop it because I was shaking that much. Like I think the level of panic in this challenge was the highest for me. Yeah, this was the scariest one, I think.
Really?
Hmm.
Why is that?
I don't know. I think having gone through red light, green light, and it not, it being so difficult, and then being in the dorm, and then going into there and thinking, now I really can't go home and tell the kids that I didn't get through this as well. The
Can't tell
pressure
me.
was on. And everyone was finishing. Again, I was nearly last with this one, and everyone was finishing. And I was like, why are you finishing early? Why aren't I? Why is it so difficult for me? Yeah, yeah. I nearly failed this one.
Jeez, you got to use the spit. Why didn't you just spit on the cookie?
Honestly, I started so meticulously scraping away at this cookie, and yeah, it worked in the end.
Okay, okay. So she just said, I ain't doing spitting. I'm not gonna do something. I'm gonna do something, but it ain't gonna be that. So whatever happens, happens. But she makes it. So congratulations, player 19 dominates the cookie in dramatic fashion in the waning seconds of the game. And that's exactly everything's going exactly as planned at this point. So we get back into the dorms and we soon find this telephone. Are you
Yeah.
thinking about grabbing this telephone?
No, I'm not grabbing that. This is Squid Game. It never ends happily. Like everyone else can take the risk. I'm just going to sit back and watch. Yeah, I don't need to be involved right now.
Okay, she said, "I'm just gonna keep this one out. I need a break from the games." And luckily, you were right with your instincts took over, and 198 answered it twice eventually, and soon is swiftly evacuated from the building, and everyone cheers. And so we move on to the next game, which we walk into the white room this time, and there are eight
Mhm.
lines. So now, what are you thinking?
Oh, I'm thinking I need to like have a good mixture of people here. Like I need people who know how to play tug of war. Because I'm from England, like we don't play tug of war really. Like I know that's something that you do in PE across America, and I had a PE coach who slept under my bunk. So Keys slept under my bunk, and I knew he was a PE teacher, and I knew he knew how to play tug of war. So we spoke about this. So I was like, right, come on, Keys, get in the team.
Okay. She's rounding up the guys.
I was
Okay.
also trying to stand up a bit taller, you know. I was like, look, I'm tall, I could be really big.
Okay. She had a strategy going on. Well, eventually you decide to get, you pick a line. Do you remember what number line you picked?
6.
6. You pick 6, and so you guys are the third game, I believe. Correct?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, third game. And you get in there, and it's not tug of war. It is warship. So when you see the warship setup, what are you thinking?
Do you know, as soon as I saw it, that was all I played at Christmas with my little boy. He loves board games, and that's what he
Oh,
got.
really? Oh.
So I was like, right, this is a sign right now. And also, obviously, I was really close with B, and I was like, B is a gamer. Like, she knows the psychology of gaming. She knows what to do. And I was like, we need a captain. It's going to be B. I was like, B, you need to be captain. So I recommended and put B forward, and we all agreed. I was like, yes, like this is going to work. If anyone is going to make a decision on my fate right now, I wanted it to be her.
No, that's a very wise decision,
And it turned out to be a good decision.
Yeah, no, she's super smart. I mean, I got to talk with her a little bit before before Dalgona, and she told me a little about herself. And I could tell, like, first conversation that she was just, chill in her zone because she slept in the bottom bunks below me. You weren't sleeping next to her, were you?
No,
Okay.
we chose to stay across from the other side of the dome, which worked out well.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, she definitely told me a little about herself, and she's super smart. And she picked you as her lieutenant, which is also super smart. And yeah, you guys get going, and you guys go with your strategy. So tell me, you told me that she had her strategy. Did you have any kind of implementation on the game and whatnot as well?
I did actually, and unfortunately, we don't get to see it in the show. Like I did speak, and I was a part of it. I look like an NPC, is it? The non-playable character. My kids would be like, "That's not how you say it." But yeah, I was a part of it. Not a big part, but I was a part of it. But yeah, so obviously B knew a strategy. She had ideas. It was working, and my one strategy, my one thing I knew was to go around the edge of the board. And so on our final hit, B was on, I think, B column. Yeah, I think. And I was like, something inside was like, no, we need to go on the edge. So I was like, B, let's go across. And she was like, okay. So we moved it across, and we hit that final ship. And what you don't see on the show is on the other side, straight after we'd hit theirs, they hit ours, and it turned into like a little bit of a race of who finished that ship first.
Yeah. No, definitely. The game was a lot closer than what they show on TV. A lot of people are like, dang, like they make it look like a blowout. But I'm like, yeah, they do.
Yeah, it was more intense than that.
I know, right? But yes, your team hits that last ship and finish it off first, and you guys win. Congratulations. You only lose one ship, but most of your team survives, and you guys move on to the next game. So congratulations. Number 19 is cruising and bruising, and she stepped up to the plate when it was necessary and hit a home run out the park. I like it. I like it. I like it. So we get back to the dorms eventually, and the guards say, or the person above says, there will be 2 tests before the next game. And the first one is everyone to get in this line, and you're going to vote out 3 players. What do you think? What are you thinking when this happens?
Oh, I don't know. This was hard because I was genuinely stood there thinking, there is no one in here that I dislike. And that's what was getting difficult. And because you've been in there for a few days and you've gone through, a lot of intense games now, you are building those relationships. So I was struggling to think who I wanted to vote out now, because I didn't really want to vote out anyone. And it was coming down to where you've just got to. So yeah, this was a hard one for me, and there was a lot of talk in the dorm about making the lower numbers go first. And I think it was like
Really?
me, B, and Sam. So what you don't see is they're talking about abstaining, they're talking about the lower numbers going first, and at one point I like just run off and I'm like, oh no, what is going on? Like this cannot be happening. Because I mean, that's gonna be me. I'm 19. I'm like the lowest one of the lowest numbers. No, don't put that on me.
Yeah, that would have been interesting. You're the first person to say that was people were talking about that actually. So I didn't know that. Yeah, nobody's
Yeah.
mentioned that before. So interesting. But fortunately, we find out that people just get in random order and it doesn't
Yeah.
mean any difference. So you get in the back. Like, where do you get in line?
Kind of like the middle, more towards the front, but the middle, like that top half.
Okay. Okay, she gets in the middle and she's like, all right, I'll just go with the flow. And so eventually everyone votes and we find out that 330 Dr. V, 374 Andy, and 161 Lorenzo are all voted out. Who did you vote for?
Spoiler. Who do you think I voted for?
You said who? What? What'd you say?
Who do you think I voted for?
I don't think you voted for Lorenzo because he lives in London, so I don't think you would do that. I think you probably voted for Dr. V because he probably was somebody to should know. You voted for Andy, 374.
There was a reason though.
Okay, well, what's the reason? The people want to know.
So before we went into warships or battleships, as we call it, we were talking about how it might be that game coming up. Although I was like, it's probably tug of war, but okay, everyone's going with this. And I was like, I know a strategy. He's gonna hate me for this. I was like, I know a strategy. And he went, what is it? What's the strategy? And I was like, I've slipped up here. What if I'm against him and I'm going to give him the strategy of how to beat me? So I was like, go for the middle. I like completely panicked and just said anything. And then when we went in the game, we come out. Luckily, I didn't go against him. But when I seen him in the dorm, he was like, he told me his strategy and he knew it was written all over my face. He was like, you told me the wrong strategy, didn't you? And I was like, I was like, oh, panic. And then I was like, he knows I gave him the wrong strategy. And if I don't vote for him, he's going to vote for me now. He's going to want to get me out because he'd be like, can't trust her. And I was like, you can't trust me, but I can't let you beat me. And it was a complete moment of panic. Yeah. Conscience was now clear.
Interesting. Okay. So you got...
Oh no, honestly, the panic that you're in. It was like, oh no. I really like Sandy as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's interesting. I mean, that's a whole nother plot that we didn't get to see, which would have been funny, I think, but interesting, very interesting.
Where did that just come from?
I know. I'm just like shook right now. You mind blowing me. All this new information. Because there's a lot of different reasons people voted for Andy, and that's a brand new reason that I did not know. But
I don't know why people were voting for anyone because it felt like you had so many things happening in the dorm, and I felt oblivious to it. And as said, I was genuinely at a stage where I didn't dislike anyone, and I was like, "You're making us vote for someone. What have I got to go on?" I've not had any fallout. I hadn't witnessed anything, and it was a hard situation to be in.
Yeah, no, definitely, it's tough to just put someone out there, but it's easy for you because it was anonymous and his name was already up there, so you just
not really. I don't think it was anonymous, was it, for those of us in the room?
Well, some people could see who some people were voting for, where they were standing at, so it wasn't anonymous per se. Everyone knew, you voted for somebody on the board, but if you didn't put anyone new's head up, then you were kind of safe automatically,
Yeah.
Well,
quite cruel way of doing it, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, that's tough. I think it's just tough. It's just tough. No other way to put it. But you make it through that, and then it's time for this second test. And the guards bring out 6 boxes, and they say they need 5 volunteers. Do you think about going up there and volunteering?
No.
Okay.
B tried to volunteer, and I was like, no, get back, B.
Oh Lord, she trying to put herself out there. Well, good. Okay, okay. So you get 183 Jesse, 130 Jacobin, 229 Felicia, 375 Joel, and 79 Kyle, all up there. Are you worried about any of these people voting you out?
Not entirely, no. But no, because no, I don't think I was worried yet because I knew there was other things going on in the dorm. Although, as we've just seen, it could literally be anybody. So I was like trying to cover my number with my hair, and I was like, "Don't pick me."
Okay, nobody had a reason up there to go against you, but also nobody up there was like super close at you either. So,
That's what I thought. Though you never know, do you? What people are thinking.
hmm well, unfortunately, nothing happens to you and your group. You guys, I don't think anyone in your group goes home. All y'all are safe and sound in that one, and you move on up out of there. And so soon, we see these picnic baskets come out and picnic blankets. What are you thinking when you see this come out?
Well, as soon as we had to get in pairs, I was like, right, this is marbles. This is like, and I've been waiting to see pairs come up. And B tried to go with me, and I told her to get away from me, and literally ran out the line from her. And then I just grabbed anybody. I was like, come on. And yeah, I was just like, anybody, but B, you're not coming with me. I just wanted to avoid me close friends.
Okay, so who did you pair up with?
Brian.
Brian, good old Brian. Okay, so you pair up with him, maybe thinking it's marbles, and you are right. So, see these marbles,
Yeah.
I'm sure you're relieved that, your instincts were telling you correct. And so you guys soon enter the marble arena. Tell me kind of what you guys decide and how that goes about.
Yeah, I mean, I was relieved at first, but then I was thinking, I don't actually know this person. Like, this is hard in its own way. But we agreed to go with a really simple simple game, nothing too confusing. Like lots of people were doing all these games with all these rules, and I was like, don't confuse me. Let's just go with something really easy, straightforward, with it's clear who wins. And we decided to throw the marbles against the wall, like closest to the wall, and that was that. And thankfully, my opponent, like my partner, he was really easy going, and he was happy to do that as well. And I think I won every round.
How many rounds did you guys play?
Must have been 10, I think.
Oh, wow.
I think we played a lot. Or no, we mustn't have played the whole time. I can't remember. But yeah, I won them all, I think. You'd probably be like, never wanted to, but I feel as though I did.
Dang, you did it like that? You didn't win one round?
Did he win rounds? I can't remember. I don't think he did.
Oh my gosh. Jeez.
Pretty sure I did.
Wow. So how was the vibe like after you guys finished and
Oh, I felt awful, because he's so nice. And yeah, and I think that was the real moment where it hits you that you're taking those millions away from someone else direct. Like when you're voting for someone, whole other people are voting, so it might not go that way. So, whereas this was very direct with someone, you're taking that dream away from them, and that was quite difficult to do.
Yeah, no, that's definitely tough. But I mean, you got to do what you got to do in those situations, and you just had to take care of business, for your son back home, He would have been mad if mom lost at marbles.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, congratulations. You move on past that to the final 31. It's getting real serious in the building. But Amanda is real serious on her own and standing 10 toes tall and taking names this time. She got some blood on her hands. And, well, some more blood because she got some blood after worship. So you get a lot of blood in your hands at this point. So it is time for the final, for the next test. And everyone says you guys should nominate a captain and you guys select TJ. Are you down with this?
Not entirely. And the reason is TJ is obviously amazing. We all love TJ. But he is really quick with making decisions. Like he just runs with it. And I was a little bit worried. And this goes back 2, you know, the moment when I said they were saying the lower numbers go first, he was part of that discussion. And that took me back to that moment. And I was like, oh, like this was not going to go well last time. Like, how will this go? And that worried me a little bit. So yeah, I was like, oh no, how will this turn out?
Yeah. Okay, so I mean, you have to take a little risk, but you know, he's the capable leader, and everyone, you know, kind of sees
Yeah.
him as that already. So, trust he does the right thing. And so, before next, we kind of see the girls all gather together, and you guys are talking about this women's alliance or protecting
Yeah.
each other. I don't want to say alliance, but protecting each other. Tell me how that
Yeah.
goes about.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was evident, wasn't it? Like, there was a lot more men than women at this stage. And we seen what happened with things like, well, with what we thought was tug of war. And we saw how, you know, the men were like, oh, we're big, strong men. And I was like, oh, no, like, we're going to be picked off. Like, we are outnumbered here.
Hmm.
And when you look across the players who were left in, I think, the top in those 31, a lot of them were really close friends. A lot of the men were like friends. And if it come down to them, they weren't going to choose us. Like they're sticking together. And we knew that. So we were like, well, we can't let that happen. That's not fair. Like, we're genuinely being outnumbered here. Like, come on, give us a chance.
Okay, yeah, all y'all want is a fair chance and a fair go of kind of, you know, things, and
Mm-hmm.
you got to have a strategy at this point. I mean, if you don't, then it's kind of, you know, you're just SOL at that point. So yes, then we proceed with the guards coming back out and tell, or the person above telling us the rules, and it's pretty much a pick 'em, you know, high school or pick up basketball outside on the field. Pick you, pick you, pick you, pick you. So TJ's
Yeah.
first. He's safe for the next game. He picks Mai. Then
Yeah.
Mai picks Chad. How are you feeling about that?
I was like, I felt let down, to be honest. I did. I was like, oh no, Mai, why have you done this to us? Because we could have took us all through, and then we could have took whoever through. Like, Chad was really liked in the dorm as well. Like, you know, everyone really loved Chad. So there was a high probability that once all those women had been chosen anyway, he'd have gone through. Um, and yeah, I felt let down. And
It's
also
not.
worried because I'm like clocking up the numbers here and I'm thinking, what chance have I got?
Yeah. Yeah, because then it's free game. I mean, you know, Chad could pick someone and one of the guys, and the guys keep picking guys, but Chad
Mm-hmm.
does pick a guy. And yeah, you get very upset on the show when you see Chad get picked. It's very visible because I have it in my notes as well. Amanda gets pissed.
There was no hiding
uh,
that, is there? I've got one of them faces where I think I'm hiding him, clearly not.
yeah, no, it was very visible. It was very visible. Uh, but then, yes, Chad picks Mikey next. So now what are you
Mhm.
thinking?
I'm actually feeling a bit better because I knew how close Mikey, Marina, and B were because they kind of slept like the three of them, you know, in the dorm. So I'm thinking, oh, we might be in with a chance here, but I don't know.
Okay,
Because I
well,
also knew earlier on that Mikey saw B as a threat and probably would have voted it out at some stage. So I'm like, oh, where's this gonna go?
yeah, definitely, definitely. You just don't know at that point. Well,
Mm-hmm.
then Mikey picks 77 Marina.
Yeah,
And now how are you feeling?
even better because I know how close Marina and B are. So I'm like, oh, come on, get B in, and then B will get me in.
Yep. Well, that's what happens. B gets picked next. And then,
Yeah,
well, Marina gives says like she's gonna get the ball rolling, and she picks B, and then B picks you, and you, I
yeah,
mean, you expected B to pick you. I'm assuming, yes, like 100%.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay.
That's a good job. Otherwise, I could hide forever. I'd be like, B, what have you done?
That would have been, oh, that would have been crazy. That would have been insane. Oh my, you might have just had to say something then. But then, yes, you get picked, and then you say to the group that you need to even out the numbers moving forward, and the women are outnumbered and need to stay together. I know that was a dense down version of your speech, so why don't you tell me your whole speech for the people?
That pretty much was the speech. That pretty much was it, to
Okay.
be fair. Yeah, that was it. And at this stage, I wasn't sure if everyone else actually knew what was going on or going to happen. It kind of looks like they might do on the show, but I actually didn't know if anyone knew that was going to happen.
Really?
Yeah. I was like, well, we've got to give it a go.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's you're putting yourself out there a little bit more, and people seeing this, everyone watching is like, oh
Yeah.
snap, like this is real. You kind of vocalize it the most, it seems like. And then
Mm-hmm.
you decide to pick 393 why am I blanking?
Jackie.
Yeah, Jackie. I just saw Jackie the other day. Jesus. But yes, you picked Jackie, and then you get all the guys freaking out, and then Jackie ends up picking Phil. How are you feeling about that after you just gave this little speech and then she picks a guy?
Well, do you know, you see that moment, and I actually didn't know if you could. Are we back?
Okay,
Are we there?
no, we back. Go ahead, say that again.
Yeah, so I didn't actually know if you could hear what was said between me and Jackie when she says, "Can I pick Phil?" And I'm like, "You do whatever you want. Like, you make that decision." And I trusted in Jackie, which is why I chose Jackie out of everybody. Me and Jackie weren't the closest in there, and so I thought I'll just even it out and just pick a woman and let them, run with it, because I'm really close with B and B was safe. So I was like, let's let this go now. Let them roll with it. And she trusted in Phil, and Phil kept everything going. Everyone kept it going, and we did it.
Yeah, definitely. Well, since I do have a question, so you were picked at this point already. So do you really care about everyone else who was saved, including the women, or are you still like, I really want the women saved, regardless if I'm safe or not?
Yeah, no, I did, because I wanted everyone to go through 1,000,000%, because that was the mission. Like, that was the plan. I'd have failed if it weren't seen through, and that's how I would have genuinely have felt. It's been quite half-hearted if only I'd have gone through and not all of the women gone through. No, I'd have let them down otherwise, and I don't want to do that.
Okay, a woman standing on her toes and like, look, we all making it through where none of us should make it through. Well, at least most of us should. But yes, you standing on your words, and I like that. I love that. That's definitely honorable, and you have principles and values, which is, I think, means a lot in this game.
Yeah, I'm too righteous sometimes. I've got to speak up. I've got to say it. Which is why I think I was so vocal.
I mean, look, you got to be at certain points, and you definitely got your point across, and people were like, okay, like she ain't playing around, like she gonna do what she say, and she gotta say what she gotta do. So, and this game isn't a game of speaking up either, neither. It's like it's a game of being quiet and like kind of hiding, and
yeah,
you definitely earning it at this point. You earning it. Which I like. I like to see people earn it. I want to see things handed out to people. I like to see people earn it.
Yeah.
So then we eventually, 20 people are safe. So you make top 20. How does it feel to be in the top 20?
Insane.
Oh, she left again. There she comes back. Okay, you good. We back.
Yeah, it's insane at this point. Like, top 20, you're like, wow. I remember watching the numbers go down even to like, I don't know, like 60. And I was like, oh, this is amazing. I'm in like the top 60. So to be in 20 was like, what? This is actually happening? Like, how have I done this?
Yeah, you doing it.
Got 2 spin classes.
That's why you ain't bring back the spin class, because you don't think you need it no more. Okay, now it's all making sense. It's like, oh, look, that ain't helping me. Okay, I see the strategy. Well, soon we get back into the white room and we see this curtain over this thing. We don't know what this thing is. What do you think is under this black curtain?
Yeah, I had an idea that it was going to be like an arcade machine. Like, we've all been to arcades. I was like, this is going to be in it, but why? How is this going to work? Like, what is this going to do?
Yeah, no, definitely. Well, they soon gets unveiled, and we find out that this is a claw machine that has these little bears on the inside of them, and you
Yeah.
must pick a bear.
Do you know, my phone right now is leaning on the same bear.
Oh yeah. Okay, we got matching bears. All right.
I'm going to show you
There's
this at the end. Did you
okay,
get a
okay.
cookie inside yours?
I did get a cookie. It's actually downstairs. It's that Dalgona cookie.
What shapes did you get?
I got the star.
Oh,
So
I've not
I haven't
opened
done it
mine
yet.
yet.
Yeah, I haven't done it yet, but I'll do it probably this weekend. See how it goes. But the thing they gave us to cut out was like wooden. It's not like a metal thing. So
Yeah, I on the pictures I thought it might be cardboard.
yeah. So well, we'll see how it goes. Hopefully, I
Yeah.
pass. But yes, we get the bears, and soon explain that everyone has to pick one and then give it to someone. It bears has a number and you give it to someone else. And so, everyone's pretty. How you feel about hearing this rules?
Well, I was weighing up where I was in the line, so I was like next to TJ in the middle. So I was like, I'm literally in the middle here. It's fair play. I'm not at the end and I'm not first. So I was feeling okay, but also a little worried because I'm thinking, what if all the good numbers go and stuff like that? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think I was in a good position, really, in the room.
Okay. Good position. Good position. Well, we soon find out that first, well, one of the early things is TJ gets number 20 and gives it to Mai. How you feeling about that?
Honestly, he was never going to give it to me, was he?
Probably not.
So it's like, still
Okay, she was
give me like number 1 or 2 or 3 or.
okay. Yeah, she was like, "Look, it is what it is." At that point, you just had to shake your head and be like, "Well, hopefully I get a different number." But first, I believe. Tell me if I'm going. You pick number 2, and you give
Yeah.
it to 221 Chaz. Why do you give him
Yeah.
number 2?
Do you know, right, this is what no one understood. So I'm so glad you asked this question. So we were, I think we were in 2 sets of 10. And we started at Chaz's end. And they would get a number and pass it to each person. So what I'd realised, we knew how many low numbers were in there and we knew how many high numbers were in there. And I'm thinking, if I give my bib to someone this end, they've got every chance of getting the low number and giving it to me in retaliation. So I was like, I need to choose someone who can't choose me. And so I literally just went along the line and come to the first person. However, Chaz was actually the second person, Phil was the first, and I couldn't see the number. I couldn't see what number Phil was. So I could only see Chaz's, and I was like, I've just got to give it to Chaz because I had to say what number.
Dang, girl. That's tough,
So
man.
that
That's
was
tough.
what it was, just literally like that's why I was so upset. I was crying in this one. Like I was just like, this is so hard because I had to give it to somebody who weren't going to give a low number to me. I had to. This was definitely a case of saving myself right now. I had to.
Dang. That makes sense, though. That definitely makes sense.
Or when I went in there, I'm then thinking, I'm right at the back. We've got a timer above us here. What if I don't make it? I was like, so it's anyway.
Yeah, well, I don't think they show what number you get. What number do you get? Because I don't have it in my notes.
I got 19.
You got 19. Wow. You got blessed. And who gave you 19?
Siobhan.
Siobhan gave you 19. Wow, she blessed you.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you gave it to my dog Chad. He wasn't too Chaz. He wasn't too happy about that. He was on the podcast like a week ago, and he explained his thoughts and feelings behind that. So if you want to see that, check out Chaz and see how he feels about getting number 2.
I can imagine he's not happy, but there was nothing personal in it.
Okay. Well, that's good to
At
get
least
that
I'm not.
context of it. Yeah, that's good to get that
Yeah.
context of it because that you
Because
were
you
the missing
don't
piece.
see that on the show. You don't see that. And no, the words I actually use, which a lot of people were like, what did you say? I was like, I have to be strategic here. So I had to think strategically. I couldn't give it to someone to my left because they'd give it to me. So I had to go with someone no, and they couldn't choose me. That was all. And we only had like 4 numbers left. Well, a bit more than 4, but we didn't have many numbers left where we could give them to people.
Okay. That makes sense though. Like your reasoning definitely, you don't want somebody to retaliate you, so you have to make sure that nobody has any reason to give you a low number. So that makes sense. I mean, I was sad to see that because Chaz is my guy, but hearing
I
that makes
know. I
sense of why you
felt
did it.
awful as well because we were talking about like musicals before it, and yeah, no, I felt awful. That's why I'm so sad and literally crying like when it gave me. It was awful. I wasn't smiling. I wasn't like, oh, here you go.
Yeah. Well, that's how it happened, and it's time to get onto the glass bridge. And luckily,
Yeah.
you guys come up with this plan. Like, okay, one person jumps, and then the other person has to pass them up, and so on and so forth. And hearing these rules, you're automatically safe. You don't have to worry about nothing. So how and everybody's talking, you're just like automatically like, yeah, like just do that.
Do you know what? I was actually panicking, thinking, what if I just jump on the wrong one anyway?
What?
But
Why?
you say you're automatically safe, but everyone at Theatre Ahead who's got to jump is begrudging you a little bit. They're like, you're all right, you haven't got to jump, and you feel that personally a bit more. So although you are safe, it's not nice to be made to feel that way and be like, I'm being given this number. Like, yes, obviously everyone wants a high number, so you've got more chance of being safe. But at the same time, we were given them numbers. Like, don't hate me because of it. Yeah. It was hard.
Okay.
It was hard on that platform watching everyone jump. I kept a little
right.
song going as well. I was like, they're going left, right, left, trying to remember so everyone could remember where they were going because it was quite a long distance.
Yeah. No, it was pretty far, but yeah, there's 17 tiles, and that's the distance to go. And so I ask everyone this who was in Glass Bridge. You're maybe like the 5th or 6th person. So we get people jumping, they're falling, yada, yada, yada. But it's Trey's turn. Trey jumps, he makes his, then Marina passes him, and she doesn't make it. And then Ashley is up. Tell me your perspective on this whole little debacle.
Glad you asked this as well. Because I was genuinely oblivious to what was happening further along. I didn't know, or at least from what I saw on the show, I did not see from where I was. So what you've got to remember is we've got so many people, so many steps ahead of us. We've got people about to jump who are panicking and genuinely like, I don't want to do this. Like, I don't know what to go for. I'm going to take your time. So us on the platform, or at least I was, are talking to people and being like, oh, you'll be fine. Just, I know we've got to do it, blah, blah, blah. And trying to keep them going. So I didn't actually know what was happening further ahead. I just remember being like, what's Trey doing? Someone was saying, what's he doing? He's just going for all these jumps. And I was being like, what's he doing? And then he was gone. And it was like, what has just happened? So I felt oblivious to all of that.
Okay. So, yeah, you didn't get a great view of it because you were so far back, huh?
Yeah, and you've got to remember as well, like, as viewers, we can hear everything that's being said, but when you're on a platform, you can't hear them. You can't hear everything as clear. Like, they're well ahead of us on the bridge.
No, definitely. Okay. That's another interesting perspective from it. And, you kind of just like, you blink and he's gone. That's basically kind of how it goes, essentially. But yes, everyone, well, not everyone, 12 people make it across. You are one of these 12 people to make it across. So congratulations. You are in the top 12. This is surreal. Now, how are you feeling with 12 people?
This is getting even more insane. I can't believe I'm here. Like, wow, nearly there, nearly finished. We're nearly done. But you can, I don't know, the tension feels much stronger now at this stage. Like I said, the tension of I was given a high number. People are a little bit like, well, you didn't have to jump. And you feel that, like, you do take that on with you. And it's getting tougher now. You're thinking, who can I trust in this final 12 as well? Who is the friends here? Like, yeah, it's getting hard.
Mhm.
Mhm.
No, definitely getting down to the nitty gritty. And it is time soon for the next test. And the guards bring out this little rope, make a triangle, and put a dice in the middle of it. When you see this, what are you thinking?
Complete confusion. I'm like, what is this game?
What is going on?
You
Are we at the
couldn't even
casino?
guess.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, Lord have mercy. Is this like we got to roll our own number and like, do a tap dance in the middle of the circle? Like, what's going on, coach? So, but we soon find out, yes, that the guards say, or the person above says, we're rolling dice, and whoever rolls a six is eliminated, and we're doing that until three people get eliminated. So when you hear the rules, and then everyone decides, okay, we're all gonna go in this order. Everyone's gonna go clockwise or
Yeah,
counterclockwise, and
yeah,
we're all gonna put our own number up. That's the most
yeah,
fair way. Are you agreeing with this? And how do you feel about this?
yeah. It's fair, isn't it? It feels fair. It's nothing against each other. We've got the opportunity to do it ourselves, unlike as we've just seen with the bibs. That's out of our control. This is more in our control to do it. So yeah, it's fair. I'm happy to go with it.
So you aren't concerned like I should maybe just say someone else's number because I'm safe?
No.
Because some people are
No.
like, it's $5 million, it's $4.56 million, and you're gonna risk yourself. That's what some people are saying.
Yeah, because you don't know what's coming through next. And at this stage, you're not hating anyone, are you? You're not like disliking anyone, or at least I didn't feel that way. So I'm like, yeah, it's fair. I wouldn't want to be doing that to someone for the sake of it. No.
Yeah. Okay. Fair. Definitely fair and understandable. Well, Maya goes first, and she doesn't nominate herself. So how do you feel about that?
I was shocked and I was like, what? What are you doing? No, because I didn't know what was happening on the bridge. I don't know even now though if I've ever felt any different because I haven't experienced it and I wasn't there. I just knew what I knew. So I was like, what are you doing? That's not what we said. Why are you doing that? And I was also thinking, we agreed to go, all the women through. You went against us then. Also on the bridge, what we didn't say is my volunteered to jump but very quietly at the back. So I was like, go on, Ma, you're gonna jump. And she was like, no. Chad said don't. And I was like, you're trying to, project this image that you're gonna jump and you're gonna be part of the team, but you actually, when it came to it, you wouldn't. And now I'm seeing a vote for someone else and go against the rules we've all just decided. So I was a little bit like, what are you doing?
Well, Chad did tell Maya she didn't have to. I will, he did say that.
Yeah.
But you still feeling some type of way and like, I don't understand what the hell's going on.
Well, Maya had volunteered to jump ahead. It wasn't in place of Chad, I don't think. I'm pretty sure it was to go up and go and jump and take a jump.
Okay. Interesting. I'm gonna have to ask Maya about that when she comes on here very soon. Interesting.
Well, you know what? It worked out all right, didn't it?
It did. I guess she had a game. She had the plan in her mind the whole way. So,
Yeah.
but yes,
Yeah.
we start the dice game. People are, they're not rolling sixes, and then essentially B gets up there. She says, "I always roll a six," and she rolls a six. So, how you feeling about your best friend in the game getting this number and then being eliminated?
Yeah, I'm absolutely gutted that she's gone out. Before this, though, a few games back, I'm starting to think it's going to come to a moment where one of us are going to go and it's going to be really difficult. And you constantly anticipating that happening. And then when it happened, it was like, oh, no, it was awful. Yeah, I think you've seen all the tears and everything.
Yeah, no, that's tough right there. So your best, your number one person, your captain, your ace, she's gone.
Yeah.
Now you all alone in the game, essentially. All alone. But then Perna gets a six, he's out, and Chad gets a six, he's out. And then it's time for the final 9 players. Single digits. Now, how you feeling?
Can't believe it again. Like, this is not real, is it? That's not genuinely how I'm feeling. I'm like, what? This is because you're in a dorm now where it's basically empty. That was really surreal. You know, you used to go into the bathroom and it being so busy with people moving about, and now it's like you go to the bathroom and you're the only one in there. Like, it's really strange. Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't even imagine. It's like crazy. So, congratulations, a big congratulations on that. I'm sure your son is proud now, and he's like, "Okay, Mike, you made it far enough."
Yeah, he was like, my mom's a beast. She's doing.
Aw, you should have recorded his reactions to the episodes.
I know. To be fair, he's not really watched it. Every now and again, when you see me face, I'm like, David, and he's like, oh yeah, and then he's off. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's like, "Okay, bye, I'm going outside."
Yeah.
Well, soon it is time for the next game, and it's Circle of Trust. We find out, and basically we see these 9 chairs in the room, and there's a present in the middle. So when you see this setup, what are you thinking?
No idea what's happening again. I'm like, we have no idea what's coming anymore. I can't even guess with how everything's laid out. Obviously, they look like school desks. So I'm like, what have we got to do here? It's literally a test.
Yeah, it was like, what is going on? Are they running out of ideas? This was not in the show. Like, come on now.
Yeah.
Crazy. Well, they say the rules, and person who gets tapped is to get the box, give it to someone else, and the person has to guess who it was, or else they are eliminated. Understandable. Rules make sense. So, but it's definitely a high stress game because you're blindfolded. And I was talking to Elliot, and he said he has anxiety when he's blindfolded, and he can't see. Like, he's a little claustrophobic, and that kind of gave him bad anxiety. So, how are you feeling being blindfolded?
Yeah, it was really strange. I mean, it's not an enjoyable experience to sit there with the blindfold on. It was a hard game, that actually, to be sat there, because obviously as you get told the rules and you're blindfolded and you can't really hear anything, all your senses are pretty much taken away from you at that stage. So it's hard to grasp what is going on around you, and you're thinking, well, how am I meant to win this? How am I meant to do it? Like, how do you guess this? Now, this is hard. I walked in there and I was like, oh, well, there we go.
Yeah, you're like, are we about to take like a math test or something like that? These elementary school desks. Jeez. Yeah, it's somewhat. I know, right? It's like, oh gosh, now we got to actually think. God. But someone was telling me, I can't remember who, but they were like, you can it was quiet in there, and you could hear people walking if they got picked. So you gotta have to be like real careful with your feet. Was that true?
Well, you had the guards walking around you, so you could hear their feet as well. So I suppose you would have to be quiet, but you have got the noise of the guards walking around.
Okay, makes sense. Well, we start the game, and Maya is the first to get tapped, and she gives the box to Roland. Roland finds out he's been tapped. He gets up, and he says Rose gave him the box. Boom, he's out. 1 down, 5 to go. Yes, 5 to go.
Yeah.
Then Ashley thinks Maya puts the box on Roland's desk, and then 355, which is Hallie, she gets picked next, and she puts the box on yours.
I know.
So she puts the box on yours, and then you find out when you take the blindfold off. How are you feeling when you see this box sitting on your desk?
So annoyed, but also expecting it. I was expecting it. I was like, oh, I'm an easy target right now for them to do this, and especially when you're looking at the friendship groups around the room and things like that. And I was like, oh, thanks.
What happened to the Girls Alliance?
I know. Hello. But you know what? As soon as I took that blindfold off, Hallie was literally in my eye line, and her face went really red. She made contact with me, and I thought, oh, her face has just gone red because she's had the blindfold on. I now know it wasn't. It was because she was guilty.
Yeah, that's true.
It is. But before it as well, what I'd done is that I'd looked around the room. I thought, I've got nothing to go off. The only thing I can do is remember everyone's position, what everyone's doing. So I was like looking at the feet, I was looking at the jacket, the hair, and that's why I chose Phil, because Phil's hair at one stage I think was over the shoulder and then it was behind. And that was it. I had nothing else that was concrete to go off.
How long did you
Hard
take
that.
how long were you like taking till you decided to pick somebody, you think?
Only like 2 minutes. I was too quick. I
Oh,
should
that
have took
quick.
longer. Yeah, I
Wow.
should have took longer because I think I was at a stage where it's like, I genuinely don't know right now. Like, what can I do here? Yeah.
So if you go back, you probably would take more time analyzing people, looking at them, and just kind of,
I'd have gone with my gut instinct and chose Hallie.
wow.
I
Well,
reckon
yeah.
after being in the final, if I'd have got that right.
I think somebody else would have put a box on your thing, though. I definitely think so because the thing is,
Someone else
Phil.
said they would.
I think. Well, the thing is, I'm looking at everyone that's still there. Phil and
Hmm.
Sam were not putting the box on each other. They weren't doing that.
Yeah. Hmm. But
My.
I think as well, though, as the numbers get lower, it would become easier to define who it was.
Hmm. Yeah. No, definitely, 100%, 100%. And the thing is, like, it's a game of betrayal. Like, best friends could betray each other, but the thing is, like you said before, it would be tough to put it on your best friend in
Yeah.
that kind of game. It'd be like if B was there, you would have a better chance because you could just X her out already.
But at
I mean,
the
she might
same
do it. She
time as
might do it,
well,
but
yeah, and exactly, because at the same time, if you don't put it on a friend, not that I would want to put it on B's desk, but if you're looking at like Phil and Sam, if it was getting down to the last year when they don't put it on each other's, then whoever's left will know that
yeah,
they wouldn't do that to each other. So it becomes an easier target, doesn't it?
yeah,
So
yeah. No, definitely. I mean, the thing is, we didn't get nobody was there. There wasn't two sets of friends in there that was like inseparable. So
yeah.
we didn't really get to see that part of it.
Mm.
So that'd be interesting, like if Trey and Leanne was there and one of them put it on each other's desk.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah. But unfortunately, like everyone there was cool, but not to the point of I wouldn't put it on your desk. I don't think.
Yeah.
From coming from
Yeah.
my point of view, and then also knowing people's friendships and relationships. I mean, the only two people I can think of is Phil and Sam, which I didn't know they were that close. I had no idea, and then
Hmm.
Roland and Hallie. I don't think they would have put
Yeah.
it on each other's either. But then again, who knows? But yes,
Yeah.
that's what happens, and you guess it is Phil because of his hair, and they say nope, and that's where your time
I
is
knew
on the
as soon
show.
as I said it, as soon as I said Phil's number, I was like, I looked at them and was like, it's not you, is it? And Phil just gave me a little look and I was like, okay, going home then.
Oh my gosh. Well, that was amazing. I mean, so when you get back to the hotel, tell me how you feeling.
Honestly, I'm feeling really good. I was really proud of myself to get that far. I was not expecting to get that far, like at all. Especially as you see it coming out. Like a lot of the games were the game of chance, and I did it. I got that far, which is
Yeah.
amazing. So yeah, I'm proud.
Yeah, no, eighth out of 456 is amazing. Like that is ridiculous. I mean,
I was eighth in the final British woman.
yep, final British
Mhm.
woman standing tall, repping for her people and the queen. So the queen needs to invite you to the palace ASAP or the castle ASAP. So I'm waiting for your letter in the mail and then getting ready to see your post at the castle. So can't wait. But yeah, that was amazing. So tell me when you get back home, you leave
Mhm.
you leave the hotel and whatnot. Tell me how you feeling now.
Honestly, I think it feels like in the show where they're thrown back into reality and you're like, what has just happened? And I tried not to think about how I was eliminated either. I was like, just don't go there. It's not worth it. It's done. And amazed at all the people I met, like I met some lovely people who I genuinely will be friends with for life. And I know we're all saying it, but I do feel that. And yeah, I had the best time, DeAndre. It was so good.
So you would do season 2?
Yeah. Oh no, no. I say yeah because I still want the challenge, but then I'm like, no, because if I don't get that far again, I'd be fuming with myself.
She's like, look, now I kept it. I'm fine with that. And then somebody else can, do that because I ain't trying to make it look like I was a flop or anything like that.
No, I'm not doing it again. I'm done.
I mean, you pretty much got the full experience except for the dinner at
Yeah.
the end. It's like pressing. I mean, so with also, the finale just finished and whatnot. Seeing the last 2 games, what are you thinking about those last 2 games?
The last 2 games.
So picking the shape
Oh,
in the middle.
yeah. I don't know. What would you have gone for?
I think circle all the way. Like
Same.
I just the circle was in the first, the cookie, and I'm just thinking like
Yeah.
the thing is I'm thinking about the whole game. There was no square anything in the whole game, like nothing.
Hmm.
Like in triangle, sure it could be that, so I don't think that's a bad decision either. But
Yeah.
circle, it's like if it's there, I'm taking it because that's
Infinity, isn't it? It's the right one to go for. That's how I see it. Yeah.
yeah. So
Hmm.
I mean, I was shocked when he picked square. I was like, oh my gosh. And so that's a
Yeah.
tough way. Like you're pressing a button and then that's it. That's really tough. And then what do you think about the paper, rock, scissors?
There was There's been talk about the strategies of rock, paper, scissors. There is apparently a psychology behind it, isn't there, of what people tend to go for? I can't even put it like. Oh, how annoying is that? Imagine going out to rock, paper, scissors. What would you have gone for first?
I mean, probably rock or scissors, like I said. Like picking paper first is just very not common, I think.
Yeah.
She was very smart about that, and it's
Hmm.
like I didn't know there was that much psychology behind rock paper scissors. Like we just play it and it
Yeah.
is what it is. But for I mean, $4.56 million, I guess you need to figure out some kind of strategy. But then again, it's I was shook when they said that was the rules. I was like, there's no way they doing this right now. So I don't know. I mean, I'm happy for Mai. I wanted her to win. She was
Yeah.
287. I was 288. I met her. She was the first person I met, there, and so I was definitely rooting for her. And it was good to see her the other day at the finale event, which was dope to go to. It was amazing.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
she looks like $1 million, and I definitely think she earned it. Not to say that
Yeah,
Phil and Sam didn't
exactly.
deserve it.
Mai is played the game to win.
Yeah.
And fair dues, that's what it is. It is a game at the end of the day, isn't it? And that's how it goes, isn't it? She sat there with 4.56 million.
Yeah.
And
No,
rightfully
insane.
so.
Yeah, I definitely think she's a great representative for winner of the show and kind of, a good face for it, I'd say. You know, I think so. But,
Yeah.
well, Amanda, that was amazing. You had an insane journey on the way. Do you
Mhm.
have anything do you have anything that you take away from the show or any parting words from doing the show?
No, I just loved it. It was such a good experience. And genuinely, I know I said it before, but everybody I've met on there has just been unbelievable. The impact people have is amazing. And yeah, that's my biggest takeaway. Mhm.
Cool. Well, that's beautifully said. I couldn't have put it in better words myself. It's like you speak in a handful of roses right now, and it's just blossoming out into the air, and that's so lovely.
That's it.
Well, well, Amanda, I really do appreciate you coming on the podcast. It was a pleasure, honor, and privilege to get to have you and get your perspective on things because that's very important
Mhm.
in the grand scheme of things. Is this was your story, this was what you experienced and how you portrayed things, and I think
Yeah.
it's definitely insightful for sure because you don't.
Oh, it's been lovely chatting about it because obviously it's such a big thing to talk about, isn't it? It's like, what an experience. So it's
Yeah,
nice to share it with people.
Definitely, 100%. Well, I appreciate, like I said, you coming on here. We about to get up out of here. Till next time, y'all.
Mhm.
Peace and blessings. Amanda, can you tell the people where to find you on social media?
On Instagram, it's Amanda Taylor.
Y'all go follow her real quick now. Come on now. Don't slide in them DMs though. Or should they slide in those DMs?
No.
Don't slide in the DMs, y'all, or y'all gonna get blocked. All right, Mando. I'll let you get up out of here. It was a pleasure to get to talk to you. All right, no,
Oh,
definitely
it's been
talk to you
lovely
again soon.
chatting to you.
Yeah,
Mhm.
bye.